This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Yeah,
for sure. Like I said, I don't get too involved in all that extra stuff, but I do feel like when that topic gets brought up, there's just honestly, Sthefanie, there's a lot of people in my community that would not be happy. Are we good? I'm sorry. Not be happy to hear that I disagree with a lot of things going on in today's society, especially like when it involves kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just me. You know what I mean? Now, I'm still as gay as the sun is hot.
Yeah.
You know, that's not changing.
Well, I feel like people don't understand that you can be two things.
Exactly.
Like they're like, you're gay, you have to be this way.
Yes, exactly.
Or, you love Jesus, then you have to be this way.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That's the roadblock that we're dealing with. Yeah.
And that's why I'm just like I told you, keep my head down and
you just do
thing.
you, and that's why I like that about you too. You know what I mean? And I try to be the same way as well until somebody asks.
Yeah, same.
When
somebody asks me, I'm like, oh, you want to talk about this? Okay.
Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us.
Oh, she's going to be my new best friend. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affair. As you can see, we wasted no time getting into it. I want to give, of course, a huge shout out to Brazos and Matt, who were doing all the production stuff behind the scenes, getting our cameras ready, our light fixtures fixed. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Of course, to Rogue Media Network. To all of you guys who tuned into this episode of The Public Affair, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. I'm really excited to get into it. This next guest, she just sounds like an open book and a can of worms just ready to burst out the seams. Probably not the best analogy. I'm sorry. I'm just speaking
it is
the dome
what it
here.
is.
Hello. Okay. But listen, before we continue, I just want to use this opportunity again to thank you all so much. The holidays are upon us, and I want to give a huge shout out to some of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by, of course, David Santabanez with Alinea Real Estate. He is the #1 sales agent in his office. He's going to help you buy a home or sell your property. Listen, if you guys don't know how to buy a house, you don't know the process enthralls, nothing like that, hit up my boy David Santabanez. There is the reason why he is the #1 sales agent at Alinea, at least as long as he's been sponsoring The Public Affair. It could have been longer than that. That's been 5 years, okay? David's truly the GOAT. Se habla español también. David, muchas gracias por todo. Thank you so much, darling, for all you do for me in The Public Affair. Of course, to Anika Armstrong with Armstrong's Bayou Cafe, serving the most authentic Creole and Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pasta, seafood, and more. My favorite is any pasta that you can get there. I love building all my pastas. If you guys are loaded baked potato stands, you have to go try them out as well, because that loaded seafood baked potato will have you full for 2 days. I'm telling you, full for 2 days. Okay, you're gonna go to bed just nice and cozy wozy, and the gumbo, because it's so cold outside right now, is fantastic. You guys gotta check them out. Union Hall, Union Grove. You can order on DoorDash, Grubhub, and more, and also follow Armstrong's food truck to see when they're going to pull up near you. Armstrong's Bayou Cafe, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Blue Star RV Services, a mobile RV tech who can fix all RV travel trailers, fifth wheels, toilets, and so much more. Manny Guerrero and his team are 100% reliable and can fix any issue going on. Me and Sthefanie are so tired of going to these community events, and we say we want the cheeseburger with the fries, and the fries don't work. Listen, call Blue Star RV Services. They're going to fix this, and we get the fries. Hello.
Preach.
Thank you. Okay, who's going to eat bird fries? Okay, we want Blue Star RV Services. Him and his team are truly the best at what they do. Manny Guerrero, thank you so much for all you do for me in The Public Affair. And of course, to Jeff Davis, the Texas car plug at University Mazda Kia. Hit him up to get the best deal on a brand new or pre-owned vehicle. Listen, no matter what your credit looks like, bad credit, no credit, whatever the credit's crediting, Jeff Davis is going to make sure he gets you rolling off the lot in something scrumptious and to show off to all your friends. Jeff Davis is absolutely the GOAT. He's so easy to work with. He's so trustworthy. He's got a really warm personality, and he's kind of funny too, I'm not gonna lie. He pop up this shit on social media. I think he's really funny, okay? But Jeff Davis, thank you so much for all you do for me and The Public Affair. I truly appreciate it. All right, guys, like I said, I am so excited to have this next guest onto the show. I confessed to her on the phone when we talked like 2 weeks ago that somebody was introduced me to her likeness like years ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago, I sort of
probably longer than that.
Yeah, probably longer than that. I think it was like during the conception of The Public Affair when I was going to those East Side Market events.
Yeah.
Which I haven't attended in a really long time.
Same.
Yeah, but I was going there and they said, you guys have got to get, you have to get Sthefanie Welch on The Public Affair. She's got a fantastic story. She shared a little bit with me on the phone. I'm so grateful that she's here on The Public Affair today to share some of that story as well. Owner of the Black Daisy. She's a goddess. She's a queen. She's everything. I love everything about her personality. I definitely judged a book by its cover, and I hope she doesn't punch me in the face for that. But Sthefanie Welch is here on The Public Affair. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here too.
Like 6 years in the making.
No, honestly, for real. I can't even believe that I've been in production for this show for almost 6 years now. That's crazy. I feel old. Okay, but you know what? My titties still point up, so it's all good. I don't care. You know?
At least one of ours does.
Hello. Now, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to the ensemble.
Thank
I really
you.
like the way, because you know what it is. Okay, when I say judge the book by its cover, right? The business is the Black Daisy. You're dressed in all black. You got the goth stuff going on right now, from what I perceive.
Yeah.
That the hair is giving emo, but you are such a ray of sunshine. You're so light.
So like even like my store is very colorful.
Okay.
Yeah, like my stuff is like funky, colorful. And I do have some of like the alt stuff like snuck in there,
Yes.
But yeah, like it's a facade.
Okay.
I'm a softie at heart.
Are you? Yeah, I was gonna say. Now you do look like you might be able to.
But don't try me though.
Yeah, don't try. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, don't pull up to warehouse on her.
Exactly. Pre-Jesus me through hands.
Is that right? But now do you throw those prayer hands? That's what I always say.
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yes. But like I mean, let's be honest, like if
Okay.
somebody swung on me, like
Sure.
in the name of Jesus, I have to protect myself.
You have to protect yourself.
Exactly.
Jesus would want it no other way. Now, Jesus knows that I can't protect myself, so that's why I have the east and the south and the north in my side. So it's all good.
I got you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you have to fight my my battles for some of the chicks that want to come after me, but that's a different conversation, okay? Now, listen, I am so grateful that you're here with us on The Public Affair. And, we talked a little bit about your story on the phone, and it's, you sound to have lived kind of a hard life.
Yeah, like a really, really hard life.
Yeah, I shouldn't say kind of, excuse me. You went through, from what I would understand, a lot of darkness in your life. Can we just dive a little bit into that? I understand that you went through some things, including like sex trafficking and drugs and everything. What can you tell us a little bit about your story?
So I grew up in LA. I always say I grew up poor, but like never needing anything. For some reason, we grew up poor, but I always had the name brand stuff. Like that was important to my mom, I guess, just like the perception.
Right.
But I grew up in LA in Inglewood, California. Actually, it's a little suburb inside of Inglewood called Lenox, known as Little TJ. A lot of people don't know where it's at, but it's in between Compton and South Central.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up just kind of in a rough place. So from the very beginning, because I am small, I had to kind of have this like persona of like, I can beat you up. Yeah. And I think that's where this comes from. But yeah, so I kind of grew up that way. And once I hit high school, I had already been through some things as far as like sexual abuse, some from family members and some from actually my third grade teacher.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, I was already angry when I got into high school.
Yeah.
My parents were divorced. My mom kind of was, working single mom and just kind of doing her own thing. And so my brothers kind of raised me. But once I hit high school, I discovered drugs and it was totally like cliche gateway drug. I started with marijuana.
Yeah.
Then I dabbled in cocaine. And my senior year in high school, I moved to Las Vegas. Once I got to Las Vegas, like Sin City is true, the name, like it's all real.
You just had access to everything.
Exactly. Yeah. So in school, I was in school and there was kids doing meth during lunch at the lunch table. And the first time I ever did meth was at school during lunch. Wow. And that was like the beginning of just a downward spiral for me. Once I had that first high, I just kept chasing it. And so, time went on and then I started doing heroin. And
oh my goodness,
so I was really in a really dark place and I dropped out of high school. And that's when I got myself in the situation of being homeless and being trafficked.
Sthefanie, that's a lot to take in. And thank you for sharing that, by the way. I wonder, when it comes to things that happen, that, you got involved in and everything like that, with the family dynamic, right? I understand that you said that there were some family members that had abused you as well. In the immediate family, like mom and dad and brothers and sisters and everything, was everything pretty much good at home, or?
No, so my dad left when I was 6.
I'm sorry, you said that. Okay, I apologize for that.
Yeah.
So do you think that, how much of him leaving do you feel like played a part in some of the things that took place in your life?
I think that as cliche as a divorced family affecting a child sounds, that was for me the beginning of just like this anger that started to build inside of me. And so him leaving really changed everything because my mom changed. We were no longer like her number one. She was working so much, but also was like dating and like men became kind of a priority. And my brothers are only 6 and 7 years older than me,
Mhm.
and they were in charge of me.
Right.
And so I was being raised by kids pretty much.
I got you. Yeah, which God shouldn't be the circumstance for any
Exactly,
situation,
yeah.
you know? Does that harbor a lot of resentment towards your dad? Like, do you guys not have a relationship anymore? Or?
So I don't really have a relationship with
Mm.
him. He'll text me every
Okay.
so often.
Yeah.
I don't have any hatred towards him anymore.
Mhm.
I just, he's just not a part of my life.
Yeah.
I kind of always leave an open door,
Mhm.
and it just kind of is what it is. He's
Sure.
welcome to be in my kids' lives, and he knows that.
Okay.
And
That's
I mean,
gotta take a lot of forgiveness too.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of, I
yeah.
mean, when you go through so much darkness,
Right.
things like that kind of, you put them into perspective.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. A little bit about the abuse, and first of all, please share what you want, okay?
Right.
Because if I make you uncomfortable, just tell me, Andrew, I'm not talking about
You-
that. Yeah, okay.
I'm never uncomfortable.
I see. I love you. Oh gosh. Okay. So, and again, I do thank you for sharing your story, and I want to be as sensitive as I can, but I just there's one thing. There's being abused as a child, right,
Mhm.
sexually, and then I feel like it is probably one of the most vile things for it to come within your family.
Right.
Can you maybe talk a little bit about your experience with that? Like maybe who it was, and were you ever able to forgive that person? Do you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So I don't want to say who it was,
Okay.
just out of respect to the spouse of the person.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I love them very much, and
Mm.
we've kind of already talked about this, and me, not
Mhm.
me and my abuser, but me and the spouse of the abuser.
Oh, got you.
We've
Mm.
already kind of come to terms with things and kind of talked about it, and forgiven. I've forgiven that person
Yes.
for what I felt was like not stepping up.
Mhm.
But it was just, when you're a girl and your dad leaves, you kind of cling on to men as father figures.
Mm.
And so I had clung on to this person as a father figure, and they ended up molesting me.
Just taking
And
advantage.
yeah, and I was actually older. I was a junior in high school.
Mhm.
And so it was just a really bad and sad situation. I don't have a relationship with this person. I don't
Okay.
want a relationship with them. I
Mhm.
have forgiven them.
Mhm.
When I think about them, I do have some anger and some resentment, but it's just like it doesn't have any role in my joy or my life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see.
Mhm.
You mentioned that you had talked with the spouse of the person,
Mhm.
and you guys seem to have I guess, an amicable relationship
Yeah.
for that matter. What prompted that? Like, did you feel like it was your duty to bring that up to that person, or did they ask? Or
I just kind of felt
Mm.
hurt and betrayed by that person because
Mm.
I felt like they stood by his side
Mm.
instead of, believing a child.
Mhm.
And I think I just didn't understand the full dynamic of what was going on there. But yeah, it was, I don't know. I love people so much. And before Jesus, I was a very cold hearted person.
Mhm.
But after Jesus, like, I just love people, and I just feel like
I know. Good for you.
I just don't want to,
Oh
like,
wow. Oh,
when
I'm sorry. I'm just like
these
speechless.
people that have hurt me die,
Mhm.
I don't want anything to be left unspoken. And when I get to heaven, I want to know that, like, I did my best of forgiving and moving on.
Wow. Okay. But another thing that you mentioned too, Sthefanie, was that it happened as early as you mentioned the third grade teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were even younger.
Yeah. So in
When-
third
yeah.
grade, that was around the time my dad left.
Mhm.
This teacher, again, I clung on to him as a father figure, and he took advantage of that. And he would, like, take me shopping and all this, and would ask my mom, "Can I take her here? Can I take her there?" And my mom was like, "This is great. Like, she needs a father figure." And
Oh
so
my God,
he
you're
just
gonna make me cry.
took
I'm sorry.
advantage of that.
Ah.
And he ended up molesting me once. And after that, I was just like mortified to go anywhere with him.
I mean,
And yeah, that was pretty much like a one and done kind of thing.
did you ever mention to anybody that happened to you with him?
Not until I was older.
Mm.
Yeah. And he actually still works for the school district. And
Ooh.
I'm always like, I'm going to email, because he's not in a classroom setting anymore. But it would just be like my word versus his kind of situation.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, Steph. I'm sorry that happened to you, but it just, what makes me angry about it, okay, it's not that they got away with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they get to live their life and do what they want to do now, and there's no repercussions for that. And what they did was disgusting, and what they did, and those things that they did to you probably contributed a lot to
Oh yeah.
like the drug use and all these things that took place in your life that probably didn't even have to take place.
Yeah. Yeah. That he gets to live his life. And meanwhile, I became this really broken, sad, ashamed person.
I'm trying to keep it together. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh my God. No, honestly, I find things, the most vile thing a person can do to a child is what happened to you.
Yeah.
And I am so sorry that happened to you. And, even you mentioned that, you thought about writing an email and everything like that. And so much time has passed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so would you ever want to have a conversation with him? And maybe.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I think he would just deny it. I don't think that he would even be man enough to say like, yeah, I did that kind of thing, So yeah, it was a really sad situation.
Yeah, I hate, oh goodness, Sthefanie. So you go through this abuse as a child, right? And then it carries on onto high school and everything. And then you just mentioned just a second ago about the drugs that you started using and everything, right? So you get involved with these drugs and everything, and then it leads into sex trafficking. What a little bit about that can you talk to us about?
So this was like, okay, when people think sex trafficking, it's not like in the movies where someone steals you or someone's waiting for you in the parking lot.
In my mind, I'm thinking like prostitution.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking like you in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like
so the way that that it happened to me was honestly really unfortunate. So I was in the midst of my drug use with meth and heroin, and I was living with my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, and he ended up kicking me out of our apartment because I was like hitting rock bottom, and he was nothing like that. And so he wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh, wow.
So he kicked me out, called my mom. It was like an intervention. I came out of the shower one day and my mom, his dad, and him were standing there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my mom, was crying, and she was like, come home with me. And I was crying and begging him, not to kick me out. And it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go with my mom because I was a drug addict.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go live with my mom. And so I ended up calling my dealer at the time. And I ended up going to his house. He lived with his parents. And he ended up, like, whenever his parents were home, he didn't want his parents to know that I was there. And so he would be like, okay, you have to be quiet. And so he started putting me in his closet when his parents were home. And then it turned into him chaining me to his closet. And I wasn't allowed to like make any noise or anything.
And you're just sitting in a closet
and
all
I was
day?
sitting in a closet like whenever his parents would be home. It was just like I was really scared because when you're an addict, you don't think about things in the right way.
Okay.
And so, I was scared of him, and he would put me in his closet. And one day he took my phone. I wasn't allowed to have my phone. One day he went in the shower and he put me in the closet, but he didn't lock it, lock the chain. And I heard something like vibrating on a desk, and I realized that he left my phone out. And so I came out and called my mom because it's the only number I knew.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where I was at. I didn't know the address or the streets, anything. And so I was just like, we passed these casinos and this street, and his car looks like this. And about, I don't know, it was like not even the next day, there was a loud banging on the door, like the police. But when he opened the door, it was my mom, 411, cussing him out. He was like, she was like, mother effer, like, give me my daughter.
Oh, wow.
And I grabbed what I could. My stuff was like in a trash bag, and I just bolted, and I was just like, run.
Yeah.
And so we ran into the car, and, I went to live with her. And all of that to say, and from meeting him, I met all of these people.
Right.
And some of the people I met was a couple, not a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Sure.
And they befriended me, and I didn't have any friends because, I was just spiraling.
Well, you were an addict. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they were like, they would hang out with me, invite me to parties. And so we did that for a few months, and I trusted them.
Right.
They like made me feel like I mattered, and they loved me. And that's how it happens. They groom you, right? So they befriend you, they love you, they're there for you. And we ended up going to a party one night and they handed me a drink and we had been on a bender. I was up for like 2 weeks. I was not tired at all.
Oh my God.
And so when you do so much meth, like you don't sleep.
Okay, so that came from the meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so they gave me a drink and I wasn't a big drinker. And I took, like a few sips or whatever. And after drinking the drink, I remember the room started spinning and I was like, I don't feel good. And I was like so confused because I didn't even finish the drink.
Right.
And so I was holding onto the wall and they were like, oh, go lay down in his room at the party, the host.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not going to go lay in his room. Like, yeah, like I'm a drug addict, but I still have morals. Like,
okay.
I don't know this guy.
Sure.
Like I'm not going to lay. But if I didn't go lay down, like I was going to pass out.
Okay.
And so I went to lay down and I was like out. But I kept like when I came to, this guy was on top of me and he was raping me. And I was so weak and I was like 80 pounds because meth does that to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't get him off of me. This guy was like 6'3". He was like built. And I just remember closing my eyes and saying like, God, if you're a thing, if you're real, like I need you in this moment. Mm-hmm. And I just pushed as hard as I could and he went flying off of me. And I got up and I ran out expecting to see like 20 people because we were at a party.
Right.
And there was nobody there. And he got up and he's coming after me. And so the only thing I'm like, I just look for the next door and I open the door and it's the bathroom. So I close it and I just kind of like put my whole weight on the door and like the cabinet was right there. So I kind of just lodged myself and he was just like banging on the door. And he was like, just angry at me. And then he would start crying and saying, I'm sorry. Like, I thought you knew. They told me you knew. Like, please, I'm not going to hurt you. Please come out. And then it was like Dr. Jekyll. Like, it was just like back and forth. And then, so I was like, okay, like, I'm going to have to come out. Yeah. And so when he was like in the, I'm sorry, like, I thought you knew. Okay. I was like, this is like, I'm just going to have to play into that. Yeah. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to come out. Like, it's okay. I'm not mad. I was just scared. I didn't know they were going to drug me. Oh my God. Like, just, don't hurt me. And so when I came out, he like embraced me like we were like lovers or something. And I always remember that moment because I was like so scared because this guy was huge. Right. And I was so scared. And I just like, he's like, oh, do you want to get high? And I was like, okay. And then he was like, I have to go to work. And so he gave me $500 and he was like, here's your part. And I was like, what is going on? So he gave me the money and he's like, just call yourself a taxi. I'm going to leave you my key under the mat so you can like lock the door. And I was just like going along with it. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And so when he left, I remember calling a taxi, but I didn't know where I was. Right. I didn't know the address and I was crying and the lady was like, do we need to call the cops? And I was like, no, it's fine. Yeah. I was like, I don't know where I'm at. And she's the one that told me to look for an envelope. Okay. And so I found an envelope with his address and they came and got me and took me home. And I remember I got home and I told my mom. Yeah. I was like, I've just been raped. This is what happened. And so, yeah, it was like a whole thing. And so that was the first time it ever happened to me. I was tricked into it. Yeah. It wasn't like, I didn't voluntarily do it.
Sure. No. Yeah.
It was just, something that happened to me. And so fast forward, I called them and I was like, how dare you guys do this to me? And they convinced me. They're like, dude, he's crazy. Like, we would never do that. Like, we're your friends. And I believed them.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So then like.
But they conspired the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I believed them in that moment. Okay, yeah. So we went to another party a couple weeks later. We're hanging out, have a little bit of a drink, and I start feeling that feeling again. Oh no. But this time, like, I just didn't even fight it because I'm like, I knew what was gonna happen. Yeah. And so it happened again, they gave me my part. And then
But this is a different person this time.
A different man, yeah. Well,
so you just wake up with another guy in bed with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I go home and this time I didn't tell anybody because I felt ashamed. Like it was my fault. I put myself in that position. And so I didn't say anything to anybody. I just kind of kept it a secret.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So at that point, are you kind of selling yourself at this point, or was it
No,
just
like
okay?
then I was angry, right? So I
Okay.
cut those people off. Then eventually my mom ended up kicking me out of the house because she realized I had taken out a credit card in her name and had racked out like thousands and thousands of
Sthefanie,
debt.
okay, yeah, okay. now Sthefanie.
Hey, I'm glad she kicked me out. Honestly, like hitting rock bottom was the best thing that happened.
I was sitting here about to cry, and then now Steph.
No, I was bad. I was bad.
Okay.
And so she.
I'm sorry. That, I feel like that's kind of like the little light of the story.
The comic relief. I laugh.
That is.
I laugh just because it's just like, I mean, I'm so comfortable now sharing my story that I can laugh. But
okay.
And so anyway, my mom ended up kicking me out, and so I was homeless.
Yeah.
While I was homeless, I was just like, I didn't have money to use. I was like sleeping behind dumpsters.
Right.
I was begging for like money.
And this is all like in LA or
in
Las
Vegas.
Vegas,
yeah. Like, you know, the homeless person that you see talking to themselves?
Yeah.
Like, that was me. Like, I was in full psychosis.
Wow.
I was like begging for money. And then I was like, I'm going to call that couple to see if like they're down to do what we did, because I was literally like, I just felt like I had no other option.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so ashamed and so unworthy, so unloved that I'm like, it doesn't matter anyway, kind of situation. So I called them and I'm like, you guys still want to do what we did? And they were like, yeah, let's do it or whatever.
What are they getting out of it?
So they were paying me my fee and then paying them another fee.
So in a way, they were kind of like pimping
They were
you.
pimping me.
They
yeah.
were pimping you.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were pimping me. I feel like, I always feel weird saying this, but I feel fortunate because I only had like 3 Joes that I like rotated between, I guess.
Okay.
And that is, I mean, I do feel very fortunate about that because it could have been a lot worse. But
were you ever scared of like disease or anything like that, or?
No, I was like, I was such an addict. Like, I was so lost and so broken. I didn't care about anything. I wanted to die, honestly. I just was like, I saw no future for myself. I saw no life for myself. I was just like at my wit's end. I just wanted to die. I would beg God to like take me, but I was too much of a coward to do it myself.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Sthefanie, we have to take a quick break. Okay, I'm sorry. No. First of all, thank you so much for being so honest and open with us, because this is really, really like this is traumatic for me to hear for you.
Yeah.
But you're brave. That's for damn sure. You guys, we're gonna take a quick break. Okay. When we get back, we're gonna have more with my very special guest, Sthefanie Welch from the Black Daisy. She's gonna talk to us a little bit about more of her experience with sex trafficking, drug use, and how she was able to overcome all of that. So make sure you guys stay tuned here on The Public Affair. We'll be right back. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this exciting episode of The Public Affair. My very special guest, Sthefanie Welch from the Black Daisy. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by, of course, Julian Ana Banda with Banda's Hauling Services, right? They rent dump trailers, you fill it up, they haul it away. They also do junk removals and tree brush removals, and they haul cars in and out of town. And they offer roll-off dumpster services as well. If the car breaks down, you can also call Banda's Hauling Service to tow, because, they're an affordable tow business, and he's reliable, and he's punctual, and he's the best. Nobody is doing it like Julian Banda with Banda's Hauling Service, bro. Thank you so much for all you do for me and The Public Affair. And as of the recording of this episode, yesterday was his birthday. So I want to give a big shout out to Julian Banda. Happy birthday to you, and thank you for all you do for me. Of course, to Chefito's Kitchen with Al Gutierrez and Adriana Gutierrez, serving the best in Latin cuisine, like arroz con gandules and Cuban sandwiches, plátano maduro. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm Puerto Rican. Good. Oh, don't you love Chefito's Kitchen? Oh, I love Chefito's Kitchen.
Everyone needs to go there.
They have to go to Chefito's Kitchen. And you know what's even better, how the food is just so full of flavor, is the presentation.
Yes.
The presentation just makes you want more and more. He's got beautiful selections of entrees, and delicious, by the way, from Puerto Rico, Cuba, Mexico, Colombia, and so much more. You guys have got to go check them out at Union Grove. You can also check their social media to see when their food truck is going to be at a location near you. And Al Gutierrez, Adriana Gutierrez, thank you guys so much for all you do for me in the public. Me and the Black Days are going to be pulling up soon. Yes. Going to be pulling up because I love, I still like my mimosas, girls. So I'll be getting a mimosa with Cuban sandwich, French fries, okay? Of course, I want to give a huge shout out to Elite Barbershop, my boy Sid Rodriguez. Now look, Sid, I don't have my haircut today. I'm coming to see you tomorrow. Don't play with me, okay? 1:30 145 North Hewitt Drive, Suite 121 is where it's at. You can call the number on the screen to book or download the Squire app. Walk-ins are welcome as well. They got Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Isai Reyes, Sam Ceballos, and Kayla Chapa, making you look as snackish as I have for all these episodes of The Public Affair in 2025. My boy Sid has been doing it since the very beginning, and I truly appreciate everything he does for me. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. And of course, Ahsoka Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez. They offer team, small group, and individual skills training and superior daycare services as well, with a staff that you can absolutely trust while you go to work or something and you need some daycare services. Ahsoka Soccer Academy is definitely the place to do it. You can also ask for skills training for your kids to improve in any prowess of the sport. They're fantastic at what they do. Adults, follow their social media page for their various leagues that they host all year long. Ahsoka Soccer Academy is booked and busy. They got so much going on in the city. I'm so proud of Dominic and Ariana. Thank you guys so much for all you do for me and The Public Affair. I truly appreciate it. All right, guys, we're back with my very special guest with the Black Daisy is here.
Hey.
I just want to call you the Black Daisy because I feel like it's, I do, Sthefanie. I feel like it's like a superhero. There you go.
Yeah.
You're like a superhero.
I love it.
You are.
It.
Okay. First of all, what you shared in the first half of the show has me shook. I told you what the part that got me the most tight is the fact that this disgusting piece of trash is still out there working in a school system. We're not going to mention the school system. But big ups and kudos to you for just being able to move forward and everything. And we talk about like a lot of the sexual abuse and everything that you've been through and everything. And a lot of people, they are ashamed to talk about it publicly. And a lot of people will go their whole life and not share it with anybody. Why was it so important for you to finally speak out about all this stuff that you've been through?
I want to touch on like culturally.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of my family and like especially the older generation wish that I didn't share it. Because it does come with like a lot of shame that I no longer feel, but I did carry shame for a long time. And so the way that I actually shared it for the very first time was there's a nonprofit out here called Lovely Village. They used to be Jesus Said Love. And they came to our church and talked about what they did. And I remember feeling like there's people out there that care about people like me, And at that point, I had been married. Gosh, I got married in 2008, and this was in 2016. So 8 years. I had never told my husband that I was trafficked.
Oh.
Yeah, so he knew that I was an addict. He knew I was homeless, but he never knew that part of my story. And so after I heard them speak, I had a meeting with them, and it was to one of their workers that I told for the first time that I was trafficked. And I was like, I haven't even told my husband. And so they're like, you should probably go home and do that.
Do that first.
And I did, yeah.
How did he take it?
So I thought he was going to leave me, honestly.
Really?
I thought because he's in law enforcement.
Okay.
And I thought I was so ashamed that I was like, I just thought that he was going to be like, I can't be married to you. Like, that's too much, And so I remember I got home and I told my kids to go in the room and I told my husband I needed to talk to him. And he was like, is it bad? And I was like, yeah, it's pretty bad. And so he thought I had cheated on him or something, you know? And so,
he was probably like,
yeah. So I had I just remember hanging my head. I couldn't even look at him.
Oh, wow,
and he was cooking. And I said, I've told you all of these things about my life, but I never told you that I was trafficked. And he didn't say anything. And I was like I was sold for sex. And he still didn't say anything. And I was sobbing. I just uncontrollably was crying and he wasn't saying anything. So I remember I was looking down and I slowly picked up my head to look at him and he was just quietly sobbing. And I just hung my head again because I was just I just thought he was so disappointed. But it was like a novela. He came towards me and he picked my head up because I was hanging my head in shame. And he picked it up and he got, he's taller than me, obviously. So he got down and was eye to eye with me. And he was put his nose on my nose. And he said, and when I look at you, I see a wife, I see a mother, I see a business owner, I see a warrior, I see a survivor.
Aww.
He's like, I don't see any of that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love you for you. And that doesn't matter to me. Oof. He's like, but you're so strong. And he's like, you're a survivor. And I remember feeling God's love in person, for the first time ever, because he was so Christ-like in that moment.
Right.
I really feel like the Holy Spirit took over him and God was speaking to me directly and telling me that he loved me and he wasn't ashamed of me. And yeah,
so
he
cute.
is like such a special human being.
That is, yeah, because that's got to be tough.
Yeah.
And big shout out to, what's the husband's name? Can we shout
Dustin Welch.
Yeah, big shout out to Justin. Yes. And if that's what if that's not what your man does when you confess something to him, then leave him.
Exactly. Yeah. Then he ain't the one.
Then he's not the one. Okay, that's it. You two girls. Okay, listen. Hey, I don't think we touched on this. What was the light for you at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah. So this is, like, I know that sharing that stuff can feel heavy and it's really dark, but it's all for this part, right? For the victory, for coming out of it, the light.
Yes.
And so I told you, I was so ashamed. I felt no worth. I felt no love. I didn't see a future for myself. I didn't see any of that, but it was literally like one day I woke up and I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
I'm young. I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent.
Yeah.
I have a future for myself. I have so much to offer the world. And then I didn't know that it was the Holy Spirit literally speaking to me. But I don't know. I just like woke up and had like an epiphany of,
oh, wow.
of this is what are you doing? And I had gotten really sick. Like I was like, spitting up blood and it was like a whole thing. Cops were involved, but I just had this epiphany where I was like, I have so much to offer the world. And I called my brother that lived in California and I was like, I need you to come get me. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And they were just waiting for that phone call. And he's like, you're done? And I said, yeah, I'm done. I need you to come get me.
Yeah.
And he did. He actually, as soon as he hung up, him, his best friend and his ex-wife, they came like 4 hours later. They picked me up from actually a Joe's house.
Wow.
Was where they picked me up from. And
Sthefanie.
I had 2 trash bags and a like a laundry basket.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother was like, all right, where's the rest of the stuff? And I'm like, this is all. This is my whole life right here. And I was 22. And I'm like, this is all I have.
Yeah.
And so he asked me, are there any drugs in here? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, sis. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
So there was drugs in there.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Yeah. So he literally like took out my pipe and stepped on it and poured out my drugs and he poured water on it and he told me, you step on it. And that was such a big moment for me.
Yeah, that had been invigorating.
Yeah. So we drove the 4 hours. I was high as a kite. And I thought I was going to live with him. And he's my brother that's 6 years older than me. And when we got there, he was like, oh, just so you know, you're going to live with Manny, which is he's 7 years older than me. And I was like, what? Because I was scared of him. He's like my dad. He's like my dad. And I was like, I'm going to live with him.
They were playing in your face, right?
Yes.
They're like, we're not going to tell her till like an hour away.
Exactly, yeah. So we got there and I shared a room with my nephews. My 2 nephews had the bottom bunk and I had the top bunk. And I sobered up in that room for 2 weeks. I like slept and was just like sick as a dog. And, they were like, I remember my brother asking me, do we need to take you somewhere? And I was like, no, like I can do this.
Yeah.
So I cold turkey just like stopped. And
really?
My brother woke me up after 2 weeks and he's like, you need to go get a job. And I was like, what?
I was like, listen, I just got done throwing up all my drugs. Don't play with me.
Yeah. And he was like, you need to go find a job. He's like, you need to pay rent. And I was like, rent? Like, how much rent do I have to pay? And I think it was like $150.
Oh,
and
girl, you better stop.
I was like, $150. And so it's funny. I literally found a job the same day at an office. And it was this, do you remember Expo Design Center? Home Depot used to own it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got a job there in the office. And I went home and I was like, I got a job. And he was like, I told you like you could do it or whatever.
Sure.
And so I would love to say that then things are beautiful and, I got sober and all that stuff. But I ended up drinking a lot to kind of replace the drug use. Yeah. And so at this job, we all went to a bar and I got wasted. Someone offered to give me a ride home and I was like, awesome, thank you. So this person did not take me home. He took me to his house where he lived with his parents. Yeah. And I was wasted, like in and out. And this person then sexually abused me in his room. I remember trying to call 911, but I was so drunk I couldn't dial 911.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get like his house phone. And he disconnected it and I was screaming and he's like, you're going to wake my parents up. And I was like, then just take me home.
Yeah.
Like take me home. So he took me home and I ended up telling some coworkers and they didn't believe me.
Wow.
Because I was promiscuous. So
Okay.
they were like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. Like that didn't happen.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So I had to work with this person and see his face. And literally he came home. He came not home. He came to work the next day. And in front of everybody was like, you left your jacket in my room.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
You better stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so
my God.
I was just like so used to like
just being disrespected and
being like when you
like,
get like molested and raped so many times, it kind of just like you're like, okay, whatever, dude. Like it happened again. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And you blame yourself.
And nobody should have to
Exactly.
feel that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I still continued trucking forward and like trying to like, just get sober. And I didn't use like hard drugs anymore,
Right.
but like I was drinking a lot. And I ended up deciding to move back to Las Vegas with my mom. I know.
Sthefanie.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting myself in your shoes because, like, as much as you said, it's not like it is you see on TV,
Yeah.
right? Like, in a way, it's like, okay, you're just lost at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
You cold turkey drugs out of your life, and then you got into the drink. Yeah. So
yeah. So I'm like trying. I'm trying to still like find my footing. Like I'm still fighting for myself at this point. Like I'm working. Whatever. So I moved back to Las Vegas with my mom. I get an amazing job as a accounting assistant with a CPA. No experience at all, but she loved me and was like, I'm going to teach you everything. And then, online was a thing. This was in 2006.
Okay.
Online was starting to be a thing or whatever. And there was this website, doesn't exist anymore. It was called Face the Jury.
Okay.
It was called like, remember Hot or Not? Where,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it was like
like
Hot or Not where people would rate you from a 1 to a 10.
Yes.
And like, but also it was kind of like MySpace. You could have a profile and there was like a chatting thing to it or whatever. And this boy messaged me on there and was like, he was like, you seem like a feisty firecracker. And I had like bright red hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cute. Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't respond, but I would go to his profile every day. And after like 2 weeks of that, he messaged me and was like, so are you going to talk to me? Or you're just going to look at me?
Oh, because you could.
Yeah. I didn't know that it had a feature that you could see.
That you could see that, yeah.
And so I started talking to him and we talked online for a year and a half. That boy joined the army and got stationed in Texas and was like, how close are we? And I'm like, we're not super close, but like I can, come visit you.
Yeah.
So after talking for a year and a half, I flew to Fort Hood to meet this boy. He bought me an engagement ring before ever meeting me in person. So I flew to Fort Hood for 5 days. On the third day, he proposed to me. And the second time I ever saw him again was 2 months later for our wedding. And that's my now husband. We've been married for almost 18 years.
That's so cute. Okay, I was putting that together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, so you've been together how long?
Almost 18 years.
18 years?
Yeah.
Sthefanie, you look much older than me.
I'll be 43 in January.
Get out of here. I'm only 34. You look so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a cute. Okay, because I was going to ask you where the husband came into all that.
So that's where he
met on jury face
the jury.
Face the jury.
And I had only been sober about 2 years.
You see, so online dating can work.
And this was when it was like cliche, like taboo. It was very taboo.
Yes.
Like, because it was 2006 when we started talking.
I was in high school in 2006, girl. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, let me tell you something.
I was a sophomore.
On this website, you had to be 18 to join it. And I knew I was older than him, but I assumed that he was 18. And one day he was like, oh, it's my birthday. And I was like, this was before we met. And I'm like, oh, you're 19 now. And he's like, no, I'm 18. So this whole time he was 17.
Yes.
And I thought he was 18 and I'm 6 years older than him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, gross. Number one.
Well,
but when we met in person, he was of age.
Yeah, and let's just say too, the profile said.
The profile did say.
So you play. You better start.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now husband, 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to hear that. And so I guess when you got with him though, so everything was pretty much over, like as far as the drugs and all that. Or
when I got with him, I was still drinking pretty heavily. And I was only 2 years sober. So I was like going through a lot with my mental health.
Right.
So that man stuck with me through some really trying times because if I were him and it were the other way around, I would have left me.
Really?
Because I was crazy.
Right.
Like crazy. I mean, I'm still crazy, but now I'm medicated. So,
well, you are pretty hardcore. I'll say that. You do look like you'll smack a bitch.
But it was bad. The first few years were really bad, and he just kind of, stuck through them. And in 2011, we both had an encounter with Jesus. And we got married in 2008.
Okay.
And so we both kind of got saved around the same time. And it just like everything changed for me after that. Like
I love that your story, because unfortunately, Sthefanie, and you can attest to this, everybody's story is not like that, right?
Yeah.
So some people don't have that epiphany that you did that said, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Or, meet the person on, Jerry, whatever it's called. You know what I mean? And then fly them to Fort Hood and get married 3 days later. You know what I mean? So it's just, I'm so happy and proud of you for
Thank
that.
You.
I do have, if this is too personal, you got to just you don't have to answer it. Your kids will one day hear this story.
My kids know a lot of my story.
Oh, they do?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So my kids are now 11 and 14.
Okay.
My boys are adopted. We adopted them in 2014, and we have always been very honest with them. With dad being in law enforcement and me having the life that I had, we kind of like, they know they're screwed on both angles because they do something one of us is going to know.
You already know though. Yeah. Okay. Don't be trying to come home high.
Yeah. They know, they know I was homeless. They know that I was a drug addict. My oldest knows a little bit more about the trafficking side now that he's 14. My 11-year-old knows a little bit about it, but yeah, I'm really open with them.
Really? Okay.
I just don't want them to be naive to the world. And I have a big expectation from them respecting women.
Okay.
And I want them to know what I went through and why women are so powerful and strong. And so, yeah, I'm very honest with them.
Okay. Were you scared to be honest with them at first, though? Or
no, not at all. Because something that I wish my mom would have done was have conversations with me and be open and honest with me.
Okay.
And so that's something that I do as a mom.
Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah. I'm not a parent, so I don't really know how it works, right? But I always in my mind imagine maybe some kids shouldn't be exposed to some things, you know what I mean? And I wondered, with your kids only being 11 and 14, like maybe that's a little bit too extreme, but you obviously have the best judgment as a mother.
Yeah.
Right? Do you worry that sometimes they might get judged? I mean, because your story is going to be, it's publicized, right? And so do you ever get nervous that sometimes like maybe the kids in school might, oh wait, no, your kids are homeschooled, is that correct?
My kids were homeschooled.
They were homeschooled.
And now they go to a little private school called 514 House. Shout out, love you guys so much.
Where's that at? I've never heard of
it. It's in China Springs.
That's super private.
Yeah, it's a little faith-based, like really small school.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm not ever afraid of that because I want them to hold their heads up high and I want them to know how proud I am of myself for being able to live through that and tell my story. And also like my story just leads people to Jesus and at the end of the day, and like we're all broken, we're all sinners. And I'm just not, silence doesn't do anything. Silence doesn't bring freedom to people. I feel like there's women walking through things similar that they did, they went through things that are similar.
Yeah.
And I feel like sharing my story like brings them hope. And yeah, no, I'm not afraid at all. Like my kids, if they ever got bullied over that, like they would be like, okay, well, my mom's amazing and strong and powerful. Like, why are you making, it just would have made sense.
I'll also tell them too, man, listen, don't get it twisted though. My mom still be throwing them hands.
For real.
Okay? my mom says she'll throw them prayer hands and she don't play with her. Okay?
In the name of Jesus.
Yeah, okay. In the name, she said, my friend Hazel was on the show. I said that because they be fighting at soccer. I'm like, you be out there whooping ass in the name of Jesus, right? Do you deal with triggers?
Oh, yeah. So like my mental health is something that I struggle with to this day. When you go through so much darkness and so much trauma, I have really, really great days and I have really, really hard days.
So you're still going through it.
Yeah. I mean, and I will for the rest of my life.
Wow.
It's something that like, God could heal me from it if he wanted to, but I don't think he wants to. I think he wants to leave me like this, broken because I can help other broken people.
Okay.
Like if I was just like cured and everything's fine and I'm great now, like you can't reach broken people that way. And so I feel like I'm a lot like Paul with that pain in his side that never went away. I feel like God doesn't want to heal me from that. And I'm okay with that.
Do you think, with that being said, do you think that everything that you went through in your life was supposed to happen?
I don't think that God purposely makes us go through hard things like that, but I think that he doesn't waste pain. So I think that he was like, okay, well, it sucks that she went through this, but let me use it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Sthefanie, you have shared so much with us.
I know that was a lot.
No, it was a lot. I feel like in such little time, you were able to give us like such a broad perspective.
Just like a sneak
things.
peek.
Yeah, you know.
I'll write a book one day.
I will buy the book. Okay, I need to start getting into reading anyway. But you know, before we go, unfortunately, because we are running out of time, I do want to get into the Black Daisy a little bit. So you do have a boutique here called the Black Daisy.
Yes.
Do you sell clothes for me? Can I go shopping?
Okay,
there?
not yet, but it's coming next year.
It's coming next year.
I'm gonna have a men's section next year.
Oh hell yeah! Okay.
Yeah.
How did the Black Daisy even get started?
So when we adopted our boys, my husband was like, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom because I didn't want to miss a moment.
Right.
And so he was like, yeah, totally. Like, I got us. You be a stay-at-home mom. And I got bored after a few months, and I started selling like costume jewelry on the side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, I was like, I'm really good at this. So then I added clothing to it. But my grandma actually owned a boutique like 40 something years ago.
Oh.
And so I grew up going to the fashion district in LA. So I kind of always had that like thing in me where I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And so, yeah, it kind of just grew from there. And so it's something that started so small, like as a little clothing business has really become my ministry. I am just more there for women, honestly. Like I have women that just need prayer, need a friend, need someone to talk to. And that's what the Black Daisy really is. Like we're just there to be your friend if you need someone to talk to. We sell cool stuff.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like it's really for me about the community and the women that I get to empower.
Right. Okay. And so with that being said, I wanted to ask you how important, women empowerment was to you. And I mean, you said it all right there. The Black Daisy has been in business it's been over 6 years, right? Or
it's going to be 10 years,
10 years
in March. Yeah.
I'm sorry, girl. Okay.
No,
I wrote it down, but I put the iPad away.
We started in 2016 online only.
Yes.
And then in 2017, I opened my first store in Belton. And then in 2018, I opened my store in the China Spring area of Waco. And that store is still there. And so that store will turn 8 years old in March.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And there has to be some feeling of like redemption, thinking about how just years ago you were on the streets of Las Vegas begging for money, probably at your wits' end. And now you're just like this beautiful, vibrant, successful business owner.
It's honestly like so beautiful to walk into my store and just every day I walk in there, even after almost 8 years, and just I take it all in. And it's a small store, but to me it's a mansion. And having my store, but being a wife, being a mom, owning a home with my husband, I'm so grateful and so humbled that God chose me and kept me alive, because so many women that walked my life are no longer here with us.
Right.
And so I am really grateful for all the small things. I love the Black Daisy. Like it's my whole heart. It's my passion. And you can find this at Spice Village now too.
Oh yeah. You just mentioned that you were at Spice Village.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got caught up on the highway. So I was going to come out. I didn't want to be late for studio though. Okay. Listen, Sthefanie, I am so excited for everything that you got going on. I definitely want to check out the men's line. Okay. So women, the Black Daisy is for you for now. But she said she's coming out with the men's line soon. Okay, guys. Real quick before we go. A lot of women are still going through what you went through. Men too. Mm-hmm. Okay. And guys, I mean, we can have a different conversation about that, because I feel like that's the most unspoken. You know what I mean? What is your message to those people that are dealing with it now that might catch a glimpse of this show, or even your story in a different outlet?
It's funny because I don't get emotional telling my story much anymore. Sometimes I do, but this part does make me emotional. Okay. Just thinking of the women that are just feeling alone and unworthy and ashamed. Like you're loved, your story matters, you matter. Your past does not define your future. Everything that you went through doesn't define what you're going to go through in the future. Like there is hope, there is a light. You have to fight for it. It's not just going to be handed to you. You have to fight for it, but you are worthy of living a beautiful, beautiful life, and you can and you will.
Right. Even when it seems like the odds are against you.
Literally, even when it seems
it sounded like the odds were against you numerous times.
Exactly. Yeah. When you're in, even if it feels like you're just surrounded by darkness, like there is light, you just have to look for it.
Sthefanie, thank you so much for sharing just some of your story. I'm so grateful that we finally got to do this.
Yes, me too.
I hated that I waited 5 years. Okay? But you know, and even just meeting you, you just seem like somebody I would love to have a relationship with you, you know, long term. And it sounds like we agree on a lot of different things outside of the show. We'll talk about that. But I do want to thank you so much. And I really hope that for all of you guys that know somebody or even dealing with this on the low, I really feel like men and women, you guys can look at Sthefanie and she is a beacon of hope.
Yeah.
I hope that's fair to say.
Yeah, for sure. And like I always say, like truly, I mean this. Like, reach out to me if you need someone to talk to. I'm here.
Now, remind us where we can find the Black Daisy, just in case we want to go visit you.
Okay, so the Black Daisy in China Spring, 10412 China Spring Road.
Hello.
Spice Village, downtown Waco, and at the Mill in Clifton. I also have a booth there, and online, theblackdaisy.com.
Awesome. Well, listen, if you guys are dealing with any of that, please reach out to my girl, Sthefanie Welch. Sthefanie, I appreciate you coming on to The Public Affair so much, telling your story. I hope to hear more from you. I hope to see more of your business. And you guys don't like brunch? Y'all don't do that.
What, brunch?
Yeah.
I mean, I like food.
Okay. You guys can have the food. I'll do the mimosas. Okay. We'll go to brunch. Me and the husband, it'll be fun. Listen, you guys, thank you so much for tuning to this episode of The Public Affair. That was inappropriate. Well, no, because you know, wait, hold on. And the reason why I say that was because what I liked about you is that, you know, while you mentioned a lot of things in your life have changed, you still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you still carried some of that. You're true to yourself is what I'm saying.
And I will
mean?
have a drink like every once in a while, but I don't like it. It's not fun for me.
Right.
Like in a year, I maybe have like 3 or 4 drinks, and it's like I just went to a concert a couple months ago and I had a drink there, but like one drink and I'm like, woo.
Yeah, I was gonna say so, but like you can manage it better now, though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Like I made a joke to my husband because I drank one drink and I was so tipsy, and I looked at him and I said, "How was I a meth and heroin user? Like I can't even handle one drink. Like how did that happen?"
Well, I think that comes because we're old now too. Because one mimosa and I'm done now. Yeah. Okay, I'm out. Yeah, it shit takes me out for a day. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Public Affair. We can talk for hours, bro. I'm sorry. Okay, the Black Daisy is up and running. Make sure you guys go check out all her booths and storefront. Make sure you guys follow her on all social media platforms as well. And again, I appreciate you telling your story. So thank you so much. Now, listen, you guys. Before we go, I'm just gonna use this opportunity to thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. And of course, I'm going to give a shout out. I'm still speechless. I'm sorry. I'm going to give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors of this episode, a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Pollo Box and Audio with Jeffrey Monreal, home for all your LED needs and audio accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and so much more. Definitely your one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof at an absolute jack of all trades. Jeffrey can do it all. He's not letting me drive no basic car nowhere. Jeffrey, thank you so much for all you do for me in The Public Affair. Of course, to my girl Ana Limones with Hummingbird Party Backdrops and Decor. Call for our party decor, including beautiful balloon props, giving an extra flair to your party or event with a number of custom wooden backdrops as well. My girl Anna is going to show up punctually. She's going to make sure that your party stands out amongst the rest. She puts her blood, sweat, and tears in it. She's fantastic, easy to work with, and easy to get a hold of because her email address is on the screen right now. Hummingbird Party Backdrops and Decor. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, the JC Painting and Drywall LLC with Julio Ariaga, mi amigo. Contact for all drywall and beautiful new paint for your property, both commercial and residential. His work is honest, true, and can guarantee 100% satisfaction. Living by their slogan, just imagine, and we can make it happen. Call the number on the screen today. Julio is definitely one of the guys that you want to get with. Trustworthy for renovations, painting, everything. Him and his team are the GOATs. We appreciate you so much. To all of you guys who tuned into this episode of The Public Affair, thank you guys again so much, Sthefanie. It was such an honor meeting you.
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
No, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And listen, you guys, don't forget to always keep it between us. That's it. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. Thank you, Sthefanie. No, honestly, I'm
it's
really,
a lot. It's heavy. It really is. It's really heavy. Yeah.
Very heavy.
But I feel like it's so important to share because people need to know how these things happen and how they happen to someone you know.
Right.
It's not just like, it's not like in the movies, like I said. And it's not just like, oh, that would never happen to me or to my kid. Or
I just couldn't believe how often it happens and we don't talk about it. Like people just don't talk about it.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.